Good afternoon, everybody. So this is the title of my presentation. I will look at the sensors and parameters extraction since we consider it as an important aspect of what is linked to the wearable system. The presentation outline is listed here. I will start by presenting the current situation and go for the classification of applications since it has a link in the way we process the signal and to the sensors that we have to use, and then separate a little between different type of sensing when it is concerning the environment, the activity, or physiological measurements. And then some words about the extraction of parameters from this sensed signal. I will conclude with some consideration with respect to the market, actually the fact that there is a few things only on the market so far, and about summarizing the presentation. Okay, when we want to support health problems and reduce risk for professional people, what we use is try to do early diagnosis, have a healthy lifestyle, and prevent things to happen. So by doing this, we monitor vital signs, and which will allow to get knowledge about the health of the person, and hopefully we get then to diagnosis and better of all, of course, prevent risk to happen. When we use wearable system, there are some advantages and drawbacks. Maybe start with the drawbacks is they use power, and power means batteries, means weight, means interconnection. If you monitor things, somebody has to look at it, either yourself or somebody from the outside. So if there is a remote monitoring for surveillance, there is some people who are there. So try to avoid to have too many information that is sent or transmitted to somebody. And last but not least, if you transmit information, there is also some cost. At least in Europe, it's not for free. And as I said before, somebody has to look at it. Then the advantage, we try to do non-invasive monitoring, so not going inside of the body, trying to get as much as information from the outside, which means at the same time that we are not replacing the physician for many sensing, or cannot at all, because we don't have access, for instance, to blood sample, and we don't have the experience of a human being, since we are just engineers in some way. And then make it ambulatory, so anywhere, at home, in the street, be able to do this monitoring. Okay, when we look at the situation at the beginning, at least it was like this. So we had tele-alarm system. So when elderly people mainly fall, they could push a button and say, well, I need some help, or I don't feel very well. So first indoor and then outdoor, using technology that came to be available, like GSM or GPRS systems. Then a lot of research has been done on ambulatory monitoring, also a little bit in parallel to this, allowing the person to be outside the home or anywhere and monitoring physiological parameters mainly. But it was, I would say, rather limited to research. Then came the wearable system and research, and I mentioned here just a couple of projects, but there are many, and you work on some others. So with this wearable system, I also insisted on the research aspect, because I would say product just starts to come, and maybe the product that we see on the market that I will mention in a while, they are not really exactly linked, or I would say not using the most of this research work that has been done so far. And I was just saying, when we look at this product, except maybe the life shirt, the other ones, they are commercial, they use a subset or limited subset of the similar results. Okay, so again, this is just a summary of what you can find around. So many research projects and limited number of products. You probably recognize most of these things, so I don't want to go about this. So today's system, most of them are used as data logger mainly, Sometimes they transmit information, sometimes they even start to do parameter extraction, and what I will insist more on this in a while. This is maybe the ultimate goal, to have a garment. It was presented in Choco 5 years ago, or 6 even maybe. This garment by Professor De Rossi, and adding a lot of sensors, providing also point of care, providing also local energy, and making monitoring on the whole body. Where we are, it's not on where we are going, it's not yet that far, but when we look at the application, we can separate them in 3 or 4 categories, depending where we separate this. So first of all, I would say the wellness part, could separate also with sports sometimes when it is for athletes. Then the healthcare part, and the last category for healthy people, which is in this case the prevention and security for professionals. Looking at them in a different way, or adding to them the sensors and the methods that are used, or they could be used, or that are researched today, we can say that they are, of course, the ECG, also the photoplethysmography, so for measuring peripheral oxygen saturation, acceleration. This is mainly what is used or could be used for wellness, at least today. Then when we go in the healthcare, we can add to this respiration, measured in a way or another. Again, oxygen saturation, I would say with a little bit different purpose than before, and the activity, in this case, I would say also with a little different purpose. And last, for the prevention, usually what we measure are the same signal with a little, let's say, simplification on the side of respiration. We don't care anymore about the shape of the signal and so on. We just want the rate, mainly. The same for the ECG. What we want, I should say, rather the heart rate is more important. And then some environmental sensors that add to this list, because in this case we are interested for professionals to know what is the environment of the person. Are they gases? What is the temperature for a firefighter, and so on. And then you have here the list of the related signals that are of interest, in this case using the parameter extraction functions like heart rate, activity level, and classification. I will give you some example in a while. Some signals derived from the ECG. For the healthcare, of course, breath rate, breath amplitude, oximetry signal, activity level, and classification again. And for the last one, the one that I mentioned before, pressure, temperature, external gases also. Okay, when we look at the textile, and Rita Paradiso